So chicken manure, there's some old corn cobs. Like, look at how healthy and thick this soil is. Compost. Mushroom compost came from mushroom farms. Mixed in it is chicken manure. There's some bark chips. I mean, look how nutrient rich that is. How dark it is. That's going to grow big things. We're going to use that as our base. So these beds will be wonderful for years to come. Alright, back to get more of the 4 yards. You talk about a nutrient dense bed. Look at that. I mean, like, look at that. Wow.
Okay, we've got 3 beds full. See this one here, that round one, and then this shorter rectangle one. The big daddy one is next. And we just ordered 6 more yards of compost, or 5, I don't know, a bigger pile. I'm gonna go take some ibuprofen. All right, delivery number 2, because we finished the first pile. And we're gluttons for punishment, so we ordered another 5 yards. Here it comes. Looks like a backache. There it is. We were fortunate that this compost is so loose because it has been so rainy here. And a lot of the nurseries don't cover their compost, so it gets wet and then it just clumps and it's miserable to work with. But you can see that this is really loose and really easy to move around.
All right, quick tour of the garden beds. Jody and I completed filling all the beds up with all that mushroom compost. It was a bit of work, but we pushed through and did it. So these are some pretty large beds. I forget the size. These are what, 4 by 10 perhaps. So we did put the logs in down below on the tall ones. You know, once those start breaking down, those will add really good nutrients to the bottom of the bed anyways. And it kept us from having to fill each of the bed completely with the mushroom compost, which is pretty expensive. So, and you know, in hindsight though, it was not as expensive as buying all those bags. So anyway, you know, we had to fill the all of these containers. So now that they're filled, we're good. I mean, we won't have to get that much again in the future. Here are those raspberries we transplanted, what was it, 2 weeks ago? They're doing fairly well. So a quick tour of what we're trying to get done around here too. Down here is the chicken coop. I'll do a final walk through since it's been completed another day. Continuing on, here's our fire pit. Put down weed block, put down the stone, put these bricks around so I could just weed whack pretty easily. Here's our other garden bed. So we got these at Costco, and there's 4 sets here. They come in a figure 8. So, you know, we put 2 sets on top of each other. We had some extra pieces, obviously, because the end we kind of put together. In the middle, we did not put the piece there because we wanted it to kind of just be a big 4x8 bed versus 4x4. And I mean, there's a lot of weight in there, and these are flimsy plastic. So what I did on each of the corners, let me actually go over to a corner, I drove rebar down. That way it'll hold everything back for us. This is the 2nd year, so the rebar and everything's working really well, keeping everything together. We planted our onions about a month ago, and they're doing wonderful. The 2 beds that I showed first, one was onion, the other one was onion and garlic. So we love our onions and our garlic. Here's a quick zoom of the back. We have a couple of fruit trees here. We have 4 actually. 2 pear, maybe 3 apples, so we have 5. I can't count today. There's our blackberries we still have to do something with, not quite sure what yet. This is where the raspberry beds were. I'm gonna pull up the plastic over there, just plant grass here. So walking over a little further, here was a tree. That was a pine tree that the beetles killed. There's where we're gonna plant our corn and some other vegetables. We still have to work that in. Up here is where that one video where our neighbor Steve was removing that dead tree, that massive log. And this is where we're gonna build a pavilion. It'll be a 12x12 pavilion. All right, so that's about the update for today. And there's our wonderful garden beds. We're gonna let the beds cook down a little more. That was pretty fresh compost, so it was still cooking. It was pretty warm. Yeah, I'm sticking my hand in now. About 4 inches deep, it's still a little warm. So I think we'll wait maybe another week before we go ahead and do our planting. All right, there you go. One final big shot of the beds. All right, thanks for watching.